I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It was the Roman poet Virgil who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, hey, thank you so much for that, and welcome. 2 for Tuesday double shots of Cheap Trick and Aerosmith. 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. And I say that number because that is the number whereby you may participate in the show if you would like. 1-800-878-PLAY. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, chess, checker, rugby, cricket, all that type of good stuff. Once again, 1-800-878-PLAY. Need to talk about the national championship. Not an especially memorable game, but definitely a memorable season for Michigan, who for the first time since the Fab Five were around, were able to bring home the national championship. And UConn put up a good fight when you consider what Michigan did to everybody else in the tourney. We also want to hear from you on the Twitter at Rick Tittle. We can get in that way. TuneIn app, iHeartRadio app, Stitcher app. I'm on video right now on YouTube and Twitch.tv. If you would like to check out my hotness. Nick Douglas, who has been at the Final Four as our correspondent, he'll join us after the break to give us his live report. Karen Lyle, scheduled to appear in about a half hour for SalesPortTalk.com in her customary time slot there. Nathan Edmondson, an author, has a book about the Masters in the second hour. Rick Gehman, Rick Run Good. We'll talk to Rick Talk Good. Oscar winner Ray McKinnon in the second hour as well. And then the third hour, we'll get a little more open again to your calls at 1-800-878-PLAY around the world on the American Forces Radio Network as well. The Twitter is at Rick Tittle. Come on back.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Would you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, Genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Tittle Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Well, during the Final Four, we have had our correspondent Nick Nicholas in Indianapolis at Soil Stadium. He gave us a preview of that Final Four on Friday. Yesterday, he gave us a preview of the national championship game. And we'll check in with him one more time right now from the Hub City to get his thoughts about the championship game. Nick, welcome back. And, not a thriller that we'll remember forever. At least UConn kept it close. Michigan seemed like they were in charge. There were a couple spots in the game for like 10 minutes where it was pretty sloppy. I think the nerves got to the kids. But overall, it wasn't a blowout. And I guess if you're a Michigan fan, you'll never forget it. But what were your thoughts about being there as the eyewitness?
Yeah, well, first things first, Rick, it wasn't anyone's prettiest night, especially for Michigan. I think it was one of the uglier national title wins I've ever seen in college basketball. I mean, they missed their first 11 shots from three. They finished 2 for 15 from three. Obviously, Yaxel Lendenborg struggled, having gone down with a leg injury. He finished with 13 points on 4 of 13 shooting. And I think Coach May in his post-game presser said it perfectly, which was, if you told me we would shoot this poorly and be dominated on the glass and still find a way to win, I don't know if I would have believed you, but this team found a way all season. I think that sums it up perfectly. Michigan was not playing their style of basketball. They could not find their flow early. They really had the upper hand in this first half because UConn was in foul trouble. They hit the double bonus around 4:53 left in the first. But you had your star player and you were scoreless from the three-point line in the first half. I was shocked to see them up, but really where they won this game was in two ways. They had an X factor that came in the form of Morris Johnson, who put up 12 points and 10 rebounds on 5 of 7 shooting. And when UConn wouldn't go away in this one, Michigan was obviously looking out of sorts. UConn missed their first 11 shots to start the second half. Michigan's lead grew to 13, and then from that point forward, the Wolverines never trailed.
Yeah, it looked like for about 10 minutes that UConn was never going to score again. I do want to give credit to a certain player because a lot of times when people are kind of standing around, one guy needs to take charge. And I thought Cadeau was really that guy from Michigan in the second half where he was like, everybody out of my way, I'm going to do something.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the MVP of the game. He led the Wolverines with 19 points. Where he really shifted the game was hitting the team's first three. I mean, the Warriors crowd, it was probably 70-30 Michigan. I talked to several students before the game, and the group of kids that filled up that student section, they all said they went to Easter Sunday service and then drove into town later that afternoon, which, that's just what makes this sport so special. And especially when you've got, a geographically advantageous location, it helps with attendance. And I mean, just to see the legends that showed up, the Fab Five was there. You had Charlie Villanueva, Kemba Walker, Shabazz Napier, guys that are UConn legends all down there on the floor early. It was good to see a strong showing from both. But Michigan, the fans just roared at that first three-pointer, and the second three that came with about 2 minutes left from Trey McKinney really felt like the dagger. That gave Coach Mays a 9-point lead, and they never really looked back after that. Braylon Mullins hit a three to cut it to 4 toward the end, but Michigan was able to punish from the line and ultimately put it away.
Yeah, I remember when I saw you at Radio Row, people were saying at that time, I don't know if anybody can stop Michigan. And so, of course, then a lot of people got on the Arizona bandwagon, and it happens. But Michigan were able to keep it going. I do think it was interesting and rather sporty of Coach Hurley after the game, instead of, ranting at the refs or something, just kind of saying, we got 22 offensive rebounds, which means our guys were working so hard we just couldn't hit a shot. And Caravan saying I played as many minutes as I possibly could in this shirt. And So there was no sour grapes. It seemed like, hey, the better team won. I'll tip my hat.
Yeah, that was sort of the silver lining in all this was that the response, and then also just the fact that they made Michigan win in UConn's style of basketball. I mean, Michigan won in their style against Arizona. It was a track race. It was pace and space. They got ahead early and they never looked back. And in this game, it wasn't that way. And this is full of transfers. You've got Terrace Reed, who is playing the game of his life against his former team, playing 3 minutes. Caravan did not come off the floor once all night. So it was a valiant effort from both sides. It was what you'd expect in a championship game. And, you've got all kinds of factors like nerves, depth perception, this in Game 7s of the NBA Finals where defense is especially hard. Everybody's sort of out of sorts. Guys are missing shots that they don't typically miss. But for Michigan to go and win it in the paint, 36 paint points was their most since advancing past the round of 32 when they played Lewis University. So they were out of their element, but for Michigan to win it outside of their style of basketball, I think really does speak to the fact that they were the better team.
Yeah, and then it's crazy to think that they played 40 games, 37-3, and Dusty May is 49. He could be there the next 15 years if they pay him enough and he gets the success. But the other thing is, and I'll just one more question for you. At halftime, I was watching on TV, and Charles Barkley chimed in. He said Dusty May was trying to feed it in the paint, and then he finally realized, screw it, we're going to play basketball. And we've seen that before. I remember Guy Lewis's 5-slam Gehman in the second half. He said, all right, let's slow it down instead of just keep on running and doing what you do. And I think sometimes coaches do get cautious. What do you think about the coaching adjustments in the championship game, if you saw any?
Yeah, the coaching adjustments were apparent in the second half as both teams really went cold. The stat that really stuck out to me when I looked at the sheet was fast break points. UConn only had 4, Michigan 2. This is a group that flies up and down the court. The transition 3, which a lot believe is not a very smart shot, is Michigan's forte, and it has been all year. Coming in, hitting the 3 off a long rebound and turning around and getting the momentum back on defense. So it was great to see them play to their advantages in this matchup, which weren't many. UConn was 21 for 68, Michigan 21 for 55, but Michigan getting to the free throw line early, getting that cushion early on, having UConn in foul trouble, getting them in the double bonus by the 5-minute mark in the first half is really what allowed them to stay in. To go 25 for 28, this is a game where if you had missed 1 or 2 more, UConn's only down 2 in the last minute. And so to be disciplined enough, 25-28 free throws down the stretch compared to UConn's 12 of 16, I think is really what stuck out in this one.
Yeah, Michigan 5 transfers and spent $10 million on that team. The amount of money they're going to get back is worth much more than that, obviously. We've been speaking with Nick Douglas, of course, co-author of the book, Where Did Our Game Go? Nick, did a great job down there, man. Thanks for your stuff.
Absolutely, Rick. Thank you so much. Look forward to doing this soon.
All right. Very good. And lines are available. We'll talk about the national championship game at 1-800-78-PLAY. Come on back.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask, clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicaid, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Special Medical. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. That's 800-913-9739.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
If you're serious about investing in gold or silver, Allegiance Gold will give you an additional $5,000 in free gold to add to your portfolio. They can help you buy an amount of gold or silver, even roll over your current IRA into gold. They've helped thousands invest millions in gold over the years. Prices that are some of the best in the industry, with fees fair, reasonable, and transparent. Protect your wealth with gold. Save on your gold or silver pricing when you buy from the top-rated Allegiance Gold. Invest in gold or silver today by calling Allegiance for your free gold guide. And learn about the $5,000 free gold offer with qualified purchase. Call now.
800-1937. 800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. That's 800-413-1937.
People ask me, were you must have been the class clown. And I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him.
Rick Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's great to have you with us. Coming up in the next segment, we will talk to Karen Lyle from SalesPortTalk.com. So yesterday, I wanted to make sure I got down to the Shark Tank for the big game against the Hawks, and it used to be, kind of like when, not, but when the Warriors sucked, when Jordan was playing, the biggest game of the year was the Bulls game. That was because, and everyone's like, oh, the Warriors sold out even when they were lousy. That's not true. That game would sell out. The other big game was the Knicks, and people wanted to see Ewing. But that Jordan game, everybody would get up for it. And over the years, when the Blackhawks were down, and by the way, if that team wins in Bay Area, it would not be the name anymore. But Blackhawks coming to town, you would have Chicago fans come to woodwork. Not so much, especially because Chicago stinks this season. But I was taking the elevator, and Dan, the voice of the Sharks, was in the elevator. He goes, "Hey, Rick, what's new?" And I said, "Hopefully you're making the playoffs." And he says, "We have to win every game." And he's pretty much right. And if you look at the Kings and the Preds and the Sharks, and it could just be, literally, it is going to come down to a single solitary point at some stage. But the Sharks, so I watched the first half I watched the first half of the Natty at the Brit, and I missed the beginning of the Sharks because I thought, well, I'll watch the national championship game was so boring. And I thought, I'll just watch the second half over my shoulder at the tank. And then I saw Chicago was up 1-0, and I was like, what? But I got in, and KMBR, which is the Giants and Niners station, so they're basically local radio, not allowed to do hockey in the Bay Area. It's very rare. But KMBR, to their credit, decided they were going to do a Shark Day, and they had all their shows from the tank. And so one of the guys, Adam Copeland, invited me to come to their suite. They gave him a suite for the game. So I saw Copes in there, and young Tony and Thin Tim and all the other cast of characters. And it's very cool that they welcome in now. They would anyway, because I already knew those guys. But since I've done a whopping 3 shows on KMBR, they're like, Tittle. But anyway, it was fun to watch with the guys because they don't go to a lot of Sharks games. But then again, in the suite, see, we had the Natty Ice, and I watched it, and as I was saying to Nick, there was about 10 minutes when nobody could hit a shot. And I later saw it was the second lowest shooting percentage national championship ever, and as Nick rightfully pointed out, the worst one he's ever seen. But the good news is it wasn't a blowout. It was kind of like Rams Patriots Super Bowl when Goff played against Tom Brady and nobody could do anything. It was like 6-3 at the half or something. And I'm like, what am I watching? Not what am I watching, but what am I watching? Anyway, the Sharks scored the next 3, and then they took a dumb penalty. Some great puck movement, by the way. An amazing assist to Smith from Colin Graff. Sherwood chipped in with a goal. Luckily, the Sharkies held on. But getting back to the national championship. Since mid-February, Michigan is 25-1. 25-1, which is nuts. But plus, it's nuts that a team in college played 40 games. It used to play 20. That's literally double. But you have to steal players from other teams. Like right now, St. Mary's is just this smoking hunk of dead carrion where everyone's plucking. I saw somebody on Eastern, they're like, hey, Dent is going to stay. And then I go, oh, the howdy doody point guard. And then I was like, that's mean to say, just because a guy has red hair and freckles. And they're like, oh, that Aiden Mahaney probably regrets leaving. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. You can't stay. If you're really good, you can't stay at St. Mary's. If you're Rick ability, then you're stoked to be at St. Mary's. But if you're the player of the year in the conference, you got to get out and get some cash. And look at Michigan's transfers. Really, 4 of them. I mean, Andy Mara at 7'3", who had a great game. He had a beautiful ball pass in the game. He's from UCLA. You look at Yaxel Lendeborg. He's from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. How did he slip through the recruiting window? Well, he didn't there, but I mean, lordy. Merez Johnson is from Illinois, who was in the Final Four. Elliot Cadeau left North Carolina, something that Michael Malone won't let happen. And they also had Namari Burnett from Alabama, who transferred 3 years ago. Think about that. I just named their 4 best players: Mara, Lendeborg, Johnson, Cadeau. They're all transferred. And they spent $10 million on those guys. $10 million. That's what you that's what you have to do now and then. Right? So there were some people that said Dusty May was tampering. And these are his accusations we were talking about. Remember with Clemson and this guy, this Farrelly linebacker, Al, that Clemson had and then was stolen away by Ole Miss. But this is a quote from a Michigan supporter. People are trying to find a reason to bring us down, bring us what's really remarkable. There's nothing else for people to say. Dusty May is open. He talks to everybody. He works his ass off, and he's been successful. So the only thing is they like to start telling lies. People make up complete bull-ass lies about the guys we were trying to supposedly tamper with, like Braden Smith from Purdue. The narrative was we were trying to recruit Braden Smith, and he went into the portal. We would, but we couldn't recruit Braden Smith because you cannot get juniors into school at Michigan. And people ran with it. They still run with it. It's irresponsible. It's sad because it's a high enough profile name that would draw attention, and people are just lazy and they go with it. Well, the question is, why can't you get juniors in? Are you telling me that if the best player in the country is a junior and he wants to go to Michigan, that they wouldn't sign with some kind of stupid blanket policy? And the Wolverines didn't even need Braden Smith, which was crazy. And as I said, the first year he brought in Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf. Those are the two 7-footers that put together last year. And then this year, it's Mara and Johnson, 7'3" and 6'10", respectively. And people ask May, how do you get these guys in outside of just money and being Michigan? Because a lot of teams are blue bloods with money. He said, quote, we had a very, very good sell. The most impressive part was after we had Ade and Merez, Yaxel still decided to join, and then neither one of those guys wavered. I think a lot of times one of those two guys just wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't trust that I could make it work with all three here. So May convinced 3 players who were starting centers at their previous team to all come in together. And so Michigan is now the first team ever to national championship with 3 players 6'9" or taller as its 3 leading scorers. And so at a time when everybody's talking about positionless basketball, May went all in on height. May said they came in with some blind faith. That's been the most rewarding part, probably, trying to figure out what pieces of the puzzle fit best together. Well, it is crazy when you think Michigan has better size than the Warriors, like way better size. So, you know, he lost one guy, LJ Kayson, who was the backup point guard, to an injury. That's basically it. Stayed healthy. Now, Lendeborg was like, uh-oh, he'd be able to play, and at halftime, all 20 minutes. Dude, this is the national championship. You are playing. And he would say, Coach, I'm not coming out. But May, in 2 seasons, has 64 victories all time with John Calipari with his start at Kentucky. All right, let's get out on the water, Karen Lyle.
It Takes Two is a health initiative raising the importance of and early diagnosis of chronic kidney disease, or CKD, among people who are at greater risk than those with type or high blood pressure. The program provides resources to empower at-risk adults to work with their doctors and encourage health use 2 tests, EGFR, a blood test, and UACR, a urine test, to help detect CKD. Dr. Charles Vega, primary care physician.
CKD is a progressive, potentially life-threatening condition caused by kidney damage to the body's ability to filter blood. 5 million U.S. adults have CKD, but 90% don't know they have it. Most people have no symptoms until the disease is advanced, leading to irreversible kidney damage.
Two-time kidney transplant recipient.
My journey with kidney disease has inspired me to help others. It takes 2. Doctor to help get the full picture of kidney health. Learn more at testyourkidneys.com.
Sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim and Eli Lilly and Company.
Packages start at $29.99 a month with sign agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See VIP for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 918-6189.
More than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, you feel hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover. It isn't theory, it's real work. Therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-924-94.
All right, Christopher Cross on Tuesday at 9:40 Pacific. It's time to talk to our friend Karen Lyle from SaleSportTalk.com. Karen, getting out on the bay, so to speak, as we do each and every week, and I know that you are multi-talented. You are basically a de facto to the Court of St. James from the United States, and you also have a history in music and finding pianos. In fact, you found a piano for a coach one time. Tell us about that.
Well, you're a good friend, Nick Nurse, right?
Yeah,
you
the
remember.
brother of Dick Doctor.
Right. So, no, yeah, the kind of things come together all together. So about several years ago when I brought Nick Nurse to you for an interview when he was the coach of the Raptors, as you recall, he had commissioned me to find him a special piano because he has loves Thelonious Monk, who was a musician who played in, especially in the New York era in 1942. I found this piano that was in a bankruptcy sale, and I knew I had known of it for many years because it had worked its way to the West Coast. It belonged to Arthur Rubinstein's son after Arthur Rubinstein died, and was in Steinway Hall and so forth. And he got in a bidding war because the person who had it in the bankruptcy, we were representing him. So he was like in the middle of a basketball game, right? And he's got his phone, not in the middle. I'm sure there was some break and stuff like that. And we're doing this auction, and And we're going, okay, this price, that price, this price, that price, back and forth, So I've kind of been at the end of games. He just landed in Houston at about just after night, and he contacted me and told me he'd finally gotten his piano. We rebuilt it for him. It became piano number 2, Steinway and Sons 312-674.
What is I noticed that because Steinway is top the Stradivarius of pianos, but also kind of I don't want to say out of the company that we think maybe more of. What about Yamaha getting into the game with the elite pianos?
Well, that really brings up a good point. Oftentimes, when you get a piano after it's manufactured, because this Steinway was a, it was a special, it was a concert division Steinway that came out of New York, and Yamaha has, concert division entertainment, pianos that come out of Japan. What happens after the piano has left the manufacturer and has been purchased by someone or is out there, it's the provenance that the piano collects. That's basically what adds the special value. Actually, Nick brings his own provenance to this piano. It's now in the Carroll National Golf Club. So now we've got golf and basketball. I guess Nick is now the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. We've got art on piano, a special project that we did for this. And it was also done during the restoration of the Lady Washington tall ship. So it's connected to sailing because the Grays Harbor Seaport basically made it possible so that anyone who has a piano rebuilt through by Kendall Ross Bean, my partner in Piano Finders, is part of this Hands Preserving History project. So pianos being rebuilt, which are made of wood, and boats being rebuilt, which the Edmondson was at the same time, kind of are connected here. People get, Nick got this as a tax write-off for his Nick Nurse Foundation by doing this actually through the Grays Harbor Historical Seaport.
When I had him on the show for a full hour, I basically, and he really opened up, I basically spent talking about his many, many years coaching basketball in England and knowing your affinity for Blighty. Do you guys ever get into long discussions about England?
That's a good question. I have to bring that up with him. We've been talking about music and, his new project with golf course, which is where the piano is going to be located. It's a restaurant. I mean, the clubhouse has a restaurant in it, and so that's what we've talked about. I haven't thought about England with him. I should.
So, with those, I'm trying to draw pianos into the discussion with sailing. I suppose there was a piano on the Titanic, at least one, right?
Oh, there are always pianos. There's all these large luxury ships have always had pianos on them. In fact, the pianos come into the port here, on the cruise ships in San Francisco, and then the technicians scramble on board, go through all the security with their tools, which is no small thing, I will tell you, and have so many hours while the boats at dock to be able to tune the pianos and get them in condition. But pianos don't do so well on boats. I mean, we send them. So I just sent one from San Francisco to Hawaii, and it was a piano that was sold for a nonprofit that I'm on the board of directors of, and so it goes in a hermetically sealed bag into a. It gets crated. It's on its side legs are off, and then it's in a crate that's about the size of the piano, and then it gets put inside of a container onto a cargo ship, and then it travels by cargo ship to different places in the world. And although you can transport pianos by plane, just the contrast, maybe it would cost a couple $1,000 to get it across by cargo ship, but it would be about $200,000 to fly it by plane.
Wow. I was thinking about how because I'm always fascinated with the invention of instruments. Like if you think about all the, and I hope I don't offend anyone with this, all the amazing inventions of thousands and thousands of years of Chinese culture, their main instrument was just a wire on a stick, you know, the weir, weir, weir. And so it was an Italian, it was Cristofori, and it was really not that long ago, 1700s, took a harp, laid it on its side, and someone had done that with the harpsichord, but it was too loud. And so he invented this thing where you'd have these felt-covered hammers, as they were called, and so you would hit them softly, and the word for softly in Italian is piano. And so that's where we get it from. There's a little history lesson that you probably already knew that, though, right?
Well, no, actually, they just recently, they thought that Cristofori had invented the piano in 1720, but it turned out that this historian went to the Medici files and found early records about 1700, so you were spot on. It was 1700. And it was Federico Medici that came and met with Cristofori in Padua and said, "Hey, come over to my place and take care of my musical instrument collection." And then they kind of collaborated on the invention of this piano. But Cristofori was a member of a guild there called for the wool merchants, and so these hammers had wool on them, right? And so his invention was also connected to the fact that he was involved in a guild, because I'm involved in the livery companies in London. So also Italy had their livery company. I believe Switzerland still has ongoing. They call them guilds in Italy and also in Switzerland.
Let me ask you this, since we're going deep. I mentioned we mentioned Steinway and Yamaha. So, which of these? I'll throw three brands at you because the Heine's had a couple back in the day, Bechstein and Schiedmeier, and then in the USA, we had Mason and Hamlin. Which of those three, like in order, what are those worth these days?
Well, so value of pianos, that is always, that's a big subject. It depends. So Mason and Hamlin is a great brand. They were made in Boston, and that was actually something that Kendall and I owned early on when we were at the University of Texas at Austin. And it was a really an innovative design with a tension resonator underneath that kind of keeps the soundboard intact. Bechstein, also a great piano. So many good pianos come out of Germany. Germany really does set the standard even today for pianos. But just to give you some scope, there were 11,000 different brands of pianos made around the turn of the century. And now there are less than 30 manufacturers. And so kind of what happened was in America, the Aeolian American Piano Company just bought up all these brands. But what really was the fatal...
The electric keyboard? Am I beating you to the...
No, it was player piano. It was the player piano, because the player piano, which everybody was so excited about, basically got people passive about piano rather than learning how to play. And then, of course, the demise of the piano was really, it was the Industrial Revolution. It was companies like Steinway coming into America and bumping out the artisans who were making these individual pianos. I mean, there was kind of a tug of war where they would try and put these small companies out of business because they were competing with them, and they were wanting to mass manufacture pianos. And that part of history isn't told so much, but you can find it in some of the protest journals that were in some of the cities like Chicago and and Boston and so forth, where all these manufacturers, the workers were basically talking about, they were talking about forming a union because of some of the things that happened in the early part of the Industrial Revolution. So pianos very much mirror what's happened, in the world and in the country for manufacturing. So today, the piano rebuilder is equivalent to the artisans who made those brands of pianos when they were the inventors who are making them. So the piano rebuilders restore these old pianos, and they're very, very highly skilled. And that's kind of what Nick Nurse wanted. He wanted to have a piano restored. And so the Steinway & Sons that we did for him basically got restored by Kendall Bean, and it was during the pandemic. And there were all kinds of problems with shipping, with the cargo ships being stuck in the pandemic and trying to get replacement parts, which we get from different parts of the world because everything's global these days. Having to make things from scratch. There were some parts missing from it that Kendall had to manufacture himself in the shop. So these pianos and the restoration of them kind of become a history, as it were, of whatever's happening in the country and the world at the time.
All right, the Pandemic Canal. Yes, we've talked enough about sailing for one day. Next time, I will ask you about the Austrian Bösendorfer. Okay.
Oh, yes, it's a very good piano.
All right, Karen
wonderful.
Lyle, go to sailsporttalk.com. Once again, more sailing news at sailsporttalk.com. I'm Rick Tittle. We will come on back on Sports Byline USA.
Do you have a book? Get it out of your mind and make it a real book with a free guide to book publishing. Trying to publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of time that you could spend writing a book or even more books. Do what you do best. We can do the rest. Thousands of authors across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing. It's a free phone call. Remember, make this free call right now and learn how to turn your book into something real that people can buy. Get your free writer's guide. Call right now, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399, 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
I don't see you for a while. Getting sick of you.
Take your sick ass to the hospital.
Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Big, busy second hour coming up. No more piano talk, unfortunately. Dom Jimenez, trivia, go ahead.
All right, Rick, since Brandon Pajemski was drafted into the NBA, how many other NBA players have scored 30 points? Because he hasn't yet.
I'll say 17.
So in the last 2.5 years, only 17 guys have scored 30.
Oh, I thought you meant first-round picks.
No, everyone in the NBA.
Oh, geez Louise. I'll say 255.
Oh, it's really close. 235.
All right, let me throw one at you. Jose Ramirez is now the all-time leader in games played by Cleveland Indians/Guardians. As far as the only active player who leads. There are two other active players who are second in their franchise's history in games played. Can you name them?
Mike Trout.
Very good. That was I don't want to say easy, but that was the first one. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Jose Altuve.
Yes. God. Dang, we're hot. I was within 20. Jose Altuve. Now, for bonus points, who do they trail? Angels and Astros.
Craig Biggio?
Yes. If you get this.
Oh, the Angels.
If you get this, we're going
Tim Salmon?
No.
Garrett Anderson.
Yes. Man, we almost had to put you in the car and take you to Reno right then. All right. Well, I'd like to say goodnight, Cleveland, and end the show there because he's hot, but now we're going to cool off for the next 2 hours. Come on back on the Sports Byline.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. The Michigan Wolverines are the 2026 NCAA Men's Basketball National Champions, defeating the University of Connecticut Huskies 69-63 on Monday night in Indianapolis. It was far from an aesthetic classic. The teams combined to shoot 34% from the field and 23%, 11 for 48 from three. At times, the two teams had sequences going back and forth, missing shots that reminded me of two heavyweights with more heart than skill, winging haymakers at the Blue Horizon in Philadelphia. Bowling shoe ugly, as Jim Ross would say, the kind of game Michigan was destined to win. UConn successfully slowed the game down, ending Michigan's record-breaking 5 straight tournament games, scoring 90 points or more. But the Huskies found themselves in foul trouble almost immediately, and they never found any rhythm. And while UConn didn't break, Michigan's relentless, aggressive style on both sides of the ball was too much to handle. Michigan caused havoc for UConn under their own basket, blocking shots and forcing the Huskies into committing turnovers at key moments when UConn could have clawed their way back in a little closer. And while their offensive output was frankly terrible, Michigan did dominate down low, scoring more than half their points in the paint. And they also hit when they needed to and kept control of the game down the stretch. One of which came when Elliot Cadeau hit Michigan's first three-pointer with 12:47 left in the game. While it didn't quite feel like a full-on dagger in the heart, it gave the Wolverines an 11-point lead, their biggest to that point, and had UConn calling a timeout to stop the momentum. And salute to UConn senior forward Alex Caravan, a two-time national champion who did yeoman's work trying to overcome the foul trouble and physical hobbles of his teammates. For 37-3 Michigan, it's the second title in its history and their first since 1989. A total team effort for head coach Dusty May's squad, capping off a devastating run with the reminder that it doesn't have to be pretty all the time, just effective. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott is the finest natural elements America has to offer, and taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Way stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every nights, weekends, busy days? That's lost money. Create Assistance. Businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center, places scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast. The United States men's national team, Christian Pulisic, has not scored for a while for club or country. How are we going to score goals? Florin Balogun is going to be up front for sure. Or I would say Florin. It's Folarin. Folarin Balogun. Not an easy name to say if you're dumb like me. Folarin Balogun. Ricardo Pepi is good. And then it sort of seemed like Patrick Anjumang and Haji Wright, both in the championship in England, were kind of vying for that last spot. And Anjumang looked really good against Belgium. Once he went down 4-1, he came for about 20 minutes. Haji Wright banging him in for Coventry City, who are on the way back to the Premier League. But I brought it up because Anjumang did his Achilles yesterday in the game. Easter Monday is a bank holiday. It's a big holiday in England. We don't have that here. He plays for Derby County, the Rams. The Rams used to play at the baseball ground because in World War II, the U.S. servicemen there in the airfield in Derby, they used it to play baseball. That's now torn down. But it's horrifying. He put his head in his hands, and there's only going to be one USA World Cup in his lifetime. He's only going to have one chance to make that team. He wasn't a lock, but he was about as close to a lock as you're going to get from the guys who are, like, the Pulisics and the McKinneys and the Robinsons obviously are locks. But it's a terrible shame. And it's just, oh no, I'm out for a year. It's, I'm out for a year and I'm going to miss a home World Cup. So all the best to Patrick and Jemang. Hope he comes back strong. And if he's healthy, he's going to have a very, very good career. He's already doing very well overseas, but that just sucks. It sucks for the USA, but it sucks mostly for him. All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Get on back.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great America can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. It couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of Titillating Sports.
Hey, check out the channel now. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. You know, they're getting ready down there at Augusta with the fake bird sound and everything else. They're getting the green jackets. They're getting the dinner ready, picked by the champ. All going to get started with the first round on Thursday. Who's going to make the cut? Well, we'll deal with that when it comes out. What we want to talk about now is a brand new novel entitled The Master, a novel of golf and death. And we have the author with us right now. We're quite pleased to have Nathan Edmondson with us. Welcome to the show. How did this all come together? Were you tying in Amen Corner and a murder?
Thanks for having me. I'm an Augusta native. Grew up attending the tournament a good bit, and then I've written books set around the world, one way or the other, and had the idea of setting out Amen Corner to put a detective thriller, which does have a bit of a international spy twist, in the same way that the tournament is very local but also international, and put the book together.
What's it like growing up in a town like that is, relatively small when you think, whatever, 200,000 people probably, so it's not dinky, but relatively small and bucolic, and yet the time I've spent in England, the rich people I knew, they'd always talk about Park City and Vale and Augusta, because every year that was their pilgrimage. They would all go to Augusta. So it's really a worldwide tourist spot, at least for 4 days a year. What's that like?
Yeah, it is very interesting. I mean, you have 1 week out of the year where the world sort of descends in, and traffic's a nightmare. And if you're in food service or renting out your house, you balance your annual income that week. But it is, Augusta is a unique town. It's not as metropolitan, for example, as Atlanta or even Savannah, but it is the third largest city in Georgia, but very spread out over the Savannah River. So even the downtown is not condensed. So it is sort of a checkerboard or a hodgepodge of different, suburban residential kind of locales. And right in the middle of it, quite unexpectedly, is the National. The city never had to grow up, so it grew out. And Augusta has it doesn't move on from one sort of era to the next, one decade to the next. It moves out. So you've got the antebellum construction, you've got 1970s construction, you've got and everything in between. And probably the strongest legacy outside of some of the antebellum homes is the Augusta National.
And just one more aside before we get to the book. When I was in Savannah a couple of years ago, it was cool to see these cannon that were given by George Washington to the city, and it's a reminder. And I know Augusta has this too, of both the Revolutionary War with Oglethorpe founding that city, and then of course I think they kept the powder in Augusta for the Confederates. I mean, there's an amazing history in that place, isn't there?
Yeah, the Confederate Armory there, which now is converted, I believe, into loft apartments, and yeah, that whole Oglethorpe Trail that passes through. You got the Savannah River was obviously massive for moving of goods and weapons and crops, and all of that historically, and that Augusta was built around that as a trading post. But you're right. I mean, when you talk to, but it's interesting to hear that it's compared as a resort or compared to resort towns. But I certainly don't think it's a resort town, but it is a destination town. It's a town for its attraction more than anything else, or at least as far as most of the world is concerned.
So let's talk about the book and the plot of a caddy's body is found and how this can lead to something international as well. Tell us a little bit more about the plot, please.
Yeah, they're the day before the practice rounds open, the body is found hanging over the corner over the 12th green from a TV, and it turns out to be the body of a caddy of a young virtuoso. His first Masters was Johnny, South Africa, Johnny Lombard, and the story follows simultaneously a local detective pursuing the investigation into what becomes, more complex crime. The more he digs into it, as well as Johnny's competition in the tournament, where he's trying to master, the mental game at the same time with the cloud, the sort of thunderstorm of the investigation swirling around him, and compete in the tournament. And it is a unique competition in professional sports.
I know you took some painstaking lengths to make sure that for the authenticity of this book, it wouldn't just be fantasy. So when you looked into the global trafficking networks, tell us a little bit more about what you found there.
Yeah, that's an area I worked in the Middle East and around Africa. I was in counter trafficking, and so I brought some of that knowledge to it. To be clear, there's no, it's not accurate in any way that I'm aware of. That the Augusta National is tied to any of that, but it becomes an element in the investigation that is, without giving too much away, starts to get the detective Riles. He finds himself in over his head with that aspect of it. So there's the local aspect of crime, and then there's the international pressures. But one of the things that you do know about the national and Masters is that it is a nexus of wealth and power and legacy, and it is international. I mean, that Augusta, Georgia, for a week every year becomes an international city. There's no question about it. And there's no corner of the globe that is not drawn towards it. It's not regional, it's not national, it's truly international. So that's kind of reflected in the thread of the crime.
Just as someone who I know you've worked on some Marvel stuff with the Punisher and Black Widow in the comics, are we at the point of saturation where we just have too many superhero movies, or do you think no, the more the better?
Me personally, I'm grateful for a lot of I think there's a lot of saturation. I'm grateful for original movies. There's a good year for that between, Hail Mary and Dune and The Odyssey. When I say original, they're all born of books, right? But they do feel refreshing, distinct. They have original voices and, are sort of unprecedented in a way. So that is attractive to me. I think that there is an aspect to the superhero films that can only be born of that comic book, that its own literary tradition. But we've seen a lot of it played out, and I do think the audience is responding to that. We'll see how Doomsday does this year. There's a lot of speculation around it, and it's certainly a big swing.
Well, speaking of fresh and new, as I hold up the book to the YouTube and Twitch.tv cameras from Meridia Publishing, it's called The Master, a novel of golf and death, and it is by our guest, Nathan Edmondson. Nathan, good stuff. Congrats on the book. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate you having me. Have a good week.
All right, good stuff. Let's keep it going. We got Rick Run Good on the other side. Come on back on Byline.
Over the age of 50, want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
And by the way, can I just say, Rick, that Rick Tittle is one of the great names of all time.
Don't be getting your granny panties all in a bunch. We got Rick Tittle up in here.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's great to welcome back to the show Rick Gehman, known as Rick Run Good, and you know me, I'm Rick Talk Good. But he is here on behalf of Splash Sports, and we've been doing a lot with them. With Kelly in Vegas and Ariel Epstein, and Rick is with us now to talk about what's going down with the Masters, because they have a showdown contest featuring over $700,000 in guaranteed prizes. Rick, welcome back. Guaranteed prizes, what?
Absolutely guaranteed. It's not our money; it's Splash's money, which is nice. It's good to always chat with you, Rick. And yeah, I mean, I think the Masters, for a lot of people, this can feel like the start of the season for those who are just, kind of getting into it. Masters contest, Masters pools. Hey, pick a great past champion, pick an American player, pick an international. That has always been so popular. And now that it's online, you get these crazy guaranteed purses. It's really well done. And it's nice that it's all, with thousands of our close online friends instead of just our buddies in town.
Well, it's so interesting because I was just talking to somebody about how when I go to England, the rich people, they know like Vale and Park City, and they know Augusta because it is a destination for the golf elite all around the world. It is a destination city for sure, for at least for these 4 days.
Yeah, and it's, that town, I mean, leans into the whole thing. The whole town of Augusta is the Masters, and they prepare for it all year, and every little detail has been taken care of, and it really is, this great sporting event that gets put on every single year, and everybody raves about it. The players, the patrons. It really is something special.
So let's talk about the showdown. How is this all going to work out? Because I know there's a high stakes Masters challenge. There's also the Jake Hutz $100,000 Augusta showdown. Tell us more, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a variety of contests, as you can imagine. Some very large in buy-in, some a lot smaller, so it's accessible to everybody. And then there's, guaranteed prizes. So generally how they all are going to work is you're going to have 8 different tiers of players. The top 10 players might be in tier number 1, and then players 11 through 20, they might be in tier number 2. So you're just going to pick one golfer from each of the 8 tiers, and then your best 7 players, their scores are going to count. It's pretty simple. So you go through and you click that, and then at the end of the week, you add up all the scores, and if you're in the top 15, 20%, you're getting paid out. And some of them have big purses, Rick, and big guarantees, like we talked about. I mean, $100,000 for first place for a $100 buy-in is probably something that I didn't think was possible in this golf space just a couple of years ago. That would have been reserved only for football, but here we are, so it's a big deal.
I don't like putting my guests on the spot, but I'm going to do it because I think you can handle it. Rick, you are the defending champ. You get to pick the meal. What is Rick Gehman picking for his Masters dinner?
Okay, so this is fantastic. So obviously it's going to be multiple courses here, and we're going to start. I'm going to ease them in with a little bit of finger foods. We're going to do wings. I want them to think that they're getting a Bubba Watson type meal. Bubba Watson's meal was like historically frowned upon, but then we're going to go with a nice Wagyu steak, and we're going to pair it with some Australian red wine.
Wow.
And then we're gonna finish it up with probably, I'm a big fan of some type of chocolate dessert. I could go either way here. We'll find something like Dubai chocolate cake or something like that to put a bow on this.
Well, the alliteration, remember Scotty's sliders, you're not going to have Rick's radishes, are you?
No, maybe I have to serve like Rick's ribs or something of that nature for sure.
See, I knew you'd come through. Rick's ribs sounds pretty good. All right, so for you as a golf lifer, and people should go to rickrungood.com to see all the different things that you offer, all the products and advice and schooling that you offer. But as a golf lifer, because for me, these guys are on a different planet when it comes to skill. Is there anything in your game that you see from these pros, or are they also in a different atmosphere than you?
No, they are so far on a different planet, like you said, Rick. Even I always think it's interesting when you watch somebody who is the 800th ranked player in the world, and that is by far the best golfer I've ever seen, and it's not even close. And they're going to whoop everybody at your local club. And that guy will never beat Rory McIlroy. Will never beat Scotty Scheffler. I mean, the gap is just so big, and the top 1% of 1% of 1%. They are playing a different game, and they have access to equipment that we don't have access to. They've got access to everything, and it is incredible what they're able to do with a golf ball. So much so that now we're having discussions about, hey, is the game too long? Are they hitting it too far? Do we need to make equipment changes? So that has been driven because of how these guys are.
The way I look at it, I remember I was at Pebble Beach when Tiger was very early in his career, and he was in the middle of the fairway, and he was talking to his caddy. I don't know if it was Stevie or not at the time, but he was talking to his caddy, And people around me were murmuring like, oh, he's going to go with the 4-iron. No, he's going to go with a 5-iron. And after a discussion, he pulled out the 3-wood, and everyone's like, oh, my gosh, he's going with a driver. And then he airmailed it like 20 yards past the hole. And I thought, if Tiger Woods can't decide his club and can't hit the green, what hope do the rest of us have? But that's one of the things. It's such a mental sport because no one's chasing you down. It's all on you, isn't it?
It really is, and that's where, Scotty Scheffler, our current number 1 ranked player in the world, I think that he lives in the perfect place, Rick, between he cares so much about the process. He cares deeply about the process, and he does not care at all about the result. And once you can separate yourself from those two things, he's living perfectly in the middle there. He's seen so much success. And, Rory McIlroy has talked about how much he cares about the result. And, it took him over 10 years to win another major champion. He's going to defend again for us this year. But that's really the thing. Living there mentally in that perfect space is so valuable.
By the way, rickrungood.com, I clicked on some stuff. It said, sorry, that page is for members only. I like it. You gotta fork out, don't you?
Hey, listen, I got to pay the bills, Rick. I'll get you an account set up. But listen, this is my full-time job. I got to put food on the table.
All right, splashsports.com, or download the Splash app, grab a spot, make your picks, and survive. And before we let you go, Rick, any advice, or maybe just to prognosticate, anyone who's swinging them pretty good right now, you think, this guy's lying in the weeds and he might be a factor on Sunday?
Yeah, so I think that guy, and especially on Splash Sports, because he's in Tier 1, he's with Rory, he's with Scotty, he's with all these guys. His name is Cameron Young. He just won the Players' Championship a couple of weeks ago. He's one of the few golfers who hits the ball from right, which is a very good skill to have at Augusta National, and he is long, Rick. I think you watch on the driving range, and you can't believe how high and how fast he disappears into the sky. So Cameron Young is the guy that I'm really focused on this week. I think he has a good chance to contend.
He is young, too. He's in his 20s, right?
Oh, these guys are all young. It's incredible. They're coming out of the womb ready to play professional golf now.
All right, good stuff from Rick Gehman. Go to rickrungood.com and go to splashsports.com as well. As I mentioned, download the Splash app and have fun. Rick, you have fun at Augusta, and catch up soon, man.
Appreciate you, Rick. Take care. Have a great week.
All right, you too. And I'm always interested in, to me, there are only 2 days that are worth watching, and it's Friday and Sunday. And that's because I like seeing the pressure on making the cut. Now the guys who have 8-stroke leads, there's nothing there. But I like to see the fight of the guys trying to make the cut. And then, of course, on Sunday, you're going to win. Now, you could say, well, the tournament was won on the Saturday. And you go, okay, maybe it was. But how many times have we seen a guy do an amazing, course record on a Saturday, and then on Sunday he's got a 5-stroke lead and he's going to waltz, and here he is on 16, and now he has a 1-stroke lead. And that's when it starts getting good. So, in other words, I will never watch the front 9. The front 9 is meaningless. You could say it's like the first half of an NBA regular season game. It's like I don't really need to see that. But yeah, and this is the biggie. This is it's like our Wimbledon. It's it's our Green Jackets. All right. Let's take a break. We will come on back with an Oscar winner, Ray McKinnon.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. appointments don't get confirmed, and everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
Why can't you say you talk to me? You're already thinking about someone else. When it comes home, you're being something I'll be gone. But I know my day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. So now you wait for a spark.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, we're waiting on Ray McKinnon. You might know the name. You would definitely know the face. He's been in a million movies and TV shows. And he has an Oscar. I have two dreams about winning an Oscar. Interesting from the game with the Red Sox and the Brewers, two different leagues and not really a traditional rival. But the catcher, Willie Contreras, got hit by a pitch. And after the game, he was not very happy, and so he issued a warning. He said, "They always say, I'm not trying to hit you. That gets old. So the next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out." That's the message. So the frustration is stemming from this late incident in which he was hit by a Brewers pitcher. This is talking about all pitchers. He's talking about Brewers pitchers. And he hit on the hand on a sinker from Brandon Woodruff in the bottom of the third. and there was a heated exchange, and his brother, William Contreras, remember, he's Wilson, his brother is William, behind the dish had to be a peacemaker. I mean, what do? You don't start throwing haymakers at your brother, right? So then Contreras got a measure of reprisal. He slid hard into second base on David Hamilton. And, of course, David Hamilton had nothing to do, but he was paying the price. It wasn't that bad. And the defeat dropped the Red Sox to 2-8. We kind of know that record around these parts. And so Contreras on the night went 3 for 3, a home run, a double, a walk, the HBP as I mentioned, a diving stop at first base in the 6th. And he's 33 years old, and he's playing mostly first base now. He's not anymore. He's too old. But Contreras talked about hostilities with the Brewers. Now, he played for the Cardinals for a long time. And, of course, that's the NL Central. Those teams see each other a lot. He also was with the Cubs, who are in the NL Central. And he saw the Brewers a lot. He has played the Brewers. This is amazing. Really is. 121 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. Are you an established Major League player? Oh, yes. 121 games. He's had 460 plate appearances, and he has been hit 24 times. Now, the most frequent assailant after that are the Pirates and the Reds. He's been hit 14 times apiece by those teams. It's like he's probably standing on the dish. But last season, the Brewers hit him 4 times. Now, he's a very intense player. He's a very emotional player. And for the Brewers' part, they pretty much said, we know the guy. So Wood said, we've been through this. It's what, 9 years for me? It seems like every year. He's trying to play a game, and he's trying to get his side fired up. I knew what was going on. I wasn't going to let it affect me on the mound. I knew I had a job to do. Well, Contreras is new to the American League, and his clashes with Milwaukee will be much less frequent. But if last night was any guide, they'll still be very intense. And speaking of which, the teams will play again tonight at Fenway, and then they'll have a matinee getaway game Wednesday. And if I'm the Brewers now, I hit him every time he comes up. I hit him every time he comes up. And why? Because that's completely moronic, petulant, and childish. You know, it's like when your dad said, say fart one more time and I'll wash your mouth out with soap and water. And then you say fart, and then your dad does that. That's a true story in my house. Not with me, with my older brother. And my dad said, if I make a threat and I don't carry it out, then you guys aren't going to believe anything I say. And I remember my brother was like years old. I was like 4, and my dad's holding him over the sink, shoving a bar of soap into his mouth. Don't worry, he was a great dad. And my older brother, now you'd call Child Protective Services, he washed my mouth out with soap and water. Because I said fart, and I wouldn't stop. Now it's funny. But it's not funny if you're a Red Sox fan. You know, and by the way, in Boston, it's really cold. You say hitters aren't getting their legs under them. The timing is off. And look, April hitters, April showers, Mayflowers bring pilgrims. It's hard in April for hitters to get, but 2-8. Since 1903, only 14 teams have made the playoffs, starting 2-8. Now, Astros did it a couple of years ago. But the good news is there are 6 playoff spots up for grabs in each league, and only 3 teams in the American League were over 500. But still, the Red Sox are a team without 3 wins. Even the Giants have 3 wins. I love this. Alex Cora was asked about the loss, and he said, the record is the record. I mean, how do you... It's like the other day, I saw this, I'll never understand people who driving the wrong way on a one-way street so people will wave at you when you post a picture and say, this is the most perfect picture ever. Prove me wrong. It's like, all right. Starting stuff. Or maybe AI, maybe a bot is doing it. But I saw something, there's this live panel that said, all right, we're going to argue best sandwiches of all time. And guy ice cream sandwich. And they're like, oh, we're done. Nothing is going to top that. So, yes, the Red Sox series, obviously. Lost 2 of 3 to the Reds. Got swept in Houston. Lost 2 of 3 to the Padres at Fenway. Lost to the Brewers last night. And the chance of sell the team. Sell the team. I know that chant. But, look, John Henry has faced this a lot in his time there. Of course, he also owns Liverpool. The roster was built with the idea that the arms can carry it. The pitching was supposed to be the column. And it's what they leaned on once they got Alex Bregman over to the Cubs, and Harris Suarez chose Boston free agency. So they said, all right, that's what we're going to do. And so Craig Breslow, former Yale reliever, talked about building a sustainable, talented pitching staff. So Suarez, there's also a guy by the name of Sonny Gray. Well, Suarez on Sunday only got 10 outs, cruised through the first 3, and then a 32-pitch 4th inning, and he got run. So Cora was then asked, after he stated the immortal words, the record is the record, so someone said, all right, well, has the season been a surprise so far? He said, yes, to be honest with you. Obviously, it was different in training. And Suarez didn't even pitch that much in the WBC. He'll be the first one to say there's no excuse. He's making good pitches. Well, the Red Sox ERA is just under 5, and they've yielded 41 runs, which is the 8th most. Sonny Gray didn't look that bad on Saturday. He gave up 2 over 6, but his first outing was bad. And then, of course, I haven't even talked about Garrett Crochet. He got tagged for 4 earned against Houston. And as I said, you can see, but the question is underneath it. Who is the number 2 behind Crochet at this point? And, they always say, let's talk about the hitting coach. The hitting coach for the Red Sox is the immortal Pete Fatsy. Fatsy Patsy. That's mean. Pete Fatsy. He says that he has found ways to maximize what's there. Of course, Trevor Story is off to a slow start again. Trevor Story last year in the first month batted 119. And he has 14 Ks. Cora said he's striking out a lot, and he knows what he needs to do. I read a quote where he said, we have to slow it down, and yeah, as a unit, we have to do it. Got to get the line moving. Otherwise, it's a ground ball double play or another 1-2-3 inning, right? So, look, once they didn't get Bregman, and then Pete Alonso, who was a natural fit for Fenway, Pesky's pole, he went to the Red Sox. They talked to him, and he went, Orioles. So you need Wilson Contreras and Story to provide the power. And Contreras has never even hit 25 runs in a season. Story hit 25 last year. So you look at Roman Anthony, WBC American hero. He's the offense. He's only 21 years old, but asked him about the start. Anthony said, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable to the fans. It's unacceptable to the standard that we set for ourselves. So it's as simple as showing up and doing everything you possibly can. The good news is they have 152 games. But all you have is like that. There's not much to get too hyped about. All right. Let's take a quick break. We will come on back on Byline.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both and hotel with one phone call. We have access to most airlines, deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Book your hotel room, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is. No cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
To me, it's like a mountain, a vast bowl of pus.
Cares about anything else. You've got Rick Tittle on the radio.
Oh, thanks for that. Talk about cold start. Who the basically the worst player in baseball is? Cal Raleigh. Talk about big dumper. Remember last year, 60 home runs. Maybe the Rosarena curse. He never can. Hitting 132 with no home runs.
He hit one yesterday.
He did?
Yes. You know how I know that? I'm playing against him in fantasy baseball. He waited until I played him to hit one.
All right. He struck out 20 times. That leads all of Major League Baseball. Horrifying. All right. Well, he's hit one, and I've been corrected. By the way, Raleigh was not good in his first 9 games at 156. So it can happen, right? And Joe Adele did steal one of his would-be home runs. Joe Adele is, to me, a story of perseverance because how many times we kept hearing that Joe Adele was a star, and then he would spend the year with the Salt Lake Bees or wherever the AAA is now. I think it's still the Salt Lake Bees. But finally get and I said it yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. Always take a litter bag in your car. Now, if you jump and catch a ball and then go over the wall, that should be a home run. And it used to be that way. So I don't know why it's the other way. It makes me mad, man. It makes me mad. I also saw something that said because when Banyama got hurt, he will be ineligible for the MVP. No, he won't. There's not that many games left, are there? I don't know. All right, but what I do know is we have hour 3. And by the way, we did not have Ray McKinnon. You might have seen I talked about the Red Sox instead. We might have him hour 3. We have another hour, so come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. The Michigan Wolverines are the 2026 NCAA Men's Basketball National Champions, defeating the University of Connecticut Huskies 69-63 on Monday night in Indianapolis. It was far from an aesthetic classic. The teams combined to shoot 34% from the field and 23%, 11-48 from 3. At times, the two teams had sequences going back and forth, missing shots that reminded me of two heavyweights with more heart than skill, winging haymakers on the Blue Horizon in Philadelphia. Bowling shoe ugly, as would say, the kind of game Michigan was destined to win. UConn successfully slowed the game down, ending Michigan's record-breaking 5 straight tournament games, scoring 90 points or more. But the Huskies found themselves in foul trouble almost immediately, and they never found any rhythm. While UConn didn't break, Michigan's relentless aggressive style on both sides of the ball was too much to handle. Michigan caused havoc for UConn under their own basket, blocking shots and forcing the Huskies committing turnovers at key moments when UConn could have clawed their way back in a little closer. And while their offensive output was frankly terrible, Michigan did dominate down low, scoring more than half their points in the paint. And they also hit when they needed to and kept control of the game down to the stretch. One of which came when Cadeau hit Michigan's first three-pointer with 12:47 left in the game. While it didn't quite feel like a full-on dagger in the heart, it gave the Wolverines an 11-point lead, their biggest to that point, and had UConn calling a timeout to stop the momentum. And salute to UConn senior forward Alex Caravan, a two-time national champion who did yeoman's work trying to overcome the foul trouble and physical hobbles of his teammates. For 37 and 3 minutes, Michigan, it's the second title in its history and their first since 1989. A total team effort for head coach Dusty May's squad, capping off a devastating run with a reminder that it doesn't have to be pretty all the time, just effective. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope, faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be in America. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. This is America we need right now. AmericanPremiumVodka.com. The Bondley.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Solving leads slip through the cracks. CreateAssistance.ai to book a free call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
His sports. I hate that guy. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle bring home the bacon. President Eddie eats it. Ricky T and his official business.
Thank you so much. Welcome back to the show, Tittle with Coast to Coast. The times they are a-changin' in this way. It's a story out of L.A. An 81-year-old Dodger fan has been a season ticket holder for 50 years. So we're going back to the bicentennial. He was told they will not print his tickets. That is no longer an option. And he said, I don't have a computer. I don't have a smartphone. And they said, tough. Not take a paper ticket. Do not tear tickets. You need a smartphone. Or you have to load your computer. And so he has gone to the media. And he's got like me now. And that is always weird. Like, I remember I saw that was when I went to a Knicks game in 2021, and it said a picture of this ticket won't work. A screenshot won't work. You need to have this thing that's alive, buzzing left to right. You put it over the scanner at Madison Square Garden. Now I was like, good. What if I lost my phone and you don't know code? Wow. But an 81-year-old guy, you can't make an exception. Why don't you print up all the queues? Print up those and just say, here you are, sir. Thank you for 50 years season tickets. You know why? Because the Dodgers are mean. The Dodgers don't care about their fans, and they suck. One of the fans with them are a third and even a seventh. All right, tune in at Radio Stitcher, Twitch.tv, YouTube as well, streaming through. I'm so hot, I can't stand it. And we're here for 1-800-8-PLAY.
You an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes, just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant relief, including less abdominal pain, lower bowels, and weight loss. Skyrizi is proven to help achieve remission and visit intestinal lining. Individual results. Skyrizi is a prescription in medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased intensity, or lower ability to occur. Before get for birth, tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease. Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. 800-943-9215. Again, for the last time, that's 800-943-9215.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius. The best show ever. He's so wonderful. Genius. The best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on American Forces Network, 11-12 weekdays. Checking in with J.D. Sharp from Pro Wagering, professional prognosticator, handicapper, and bettor. J.D., last night, not the most exciting game. A lot of bad basketball being played, a lot of nerves, as you might imagine, but at least it was close. Michigan manhandled everyone. They pretty much had control of the game the whole way through, and those 5 transfers in Cadeau and Mara and Lendenborg, those 5 transfers that cost $10 million ended up paying off for Dusty May and crew. UConn at least got 22 offensive boards. They tried, but Michigan was the better team, something that we've been a few months now. What are your thoughts now on the championship game and the tourney in general?
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing that the translation is insane. Now, any school can do that at any time. I think there should be some rules in place. I think that you should have one transfer, and then you have to sit out for a year. I think that transfers that you shouldn't even be eligible for the NCAA tournament. I think it's just it's whoever pays the most money is going to have the best. There's certain logistics for that are now internalized within the tournament itself. For example, if you have a guard, a junior or a senior point guard with quite a bit of experience in the tournament. From junior last year was a transfer from wherever he was. He was at Florida. Obviously, Elliot Cadeau came from North Carolina. I mean, the list goes on and on all the way back to Jalen Brunson, who wasn't a transfer, but he was in your point. That team was just good. And they were doing like 4. And they just got a steal, and for some reason they didn't convert. And that Trey McKinney kid, who wasn't a transfer, was a freshman. He stepped up and played really well for Michigan. I was really impressed with him, to be honest with you. But, yeah, that's just – you got 7'3" Mara, 6'9" Lindenborg, 6'9" Morez Johnson, starters. I mean, Lindenberg was a 6'20". Morez Johnson was pretty good at Illinois. He averaged probably 8 to 10 a game, but he's a banger down low. Mara wasn't that good. He's got bigger, and he's gotten better. Amari Brown, who's offensive on-ball guards in basketball, also a great rebounder, which you saw yesterday also. So, and then Roddy Gale, who was a starter for Ohio State. I believe he was their starting shooting guard. So, I mean, if you're able to do that, yeah, I get Dusty May's a good coach, but is he really that good of a coach, or did they just drop $15 million or $10 million on talent, and was he able to put that talent together like I think pretty much any coach would be able to do under those circumstances? You know, if Lundenberg doesn't go to Michigan, does Michigan win it all? Probably not. I know that Kentucky offered him $8 million. For whatever reason, he didn't take it. So, again, like, I don't look at this as accomplishment. I look at this as playing the system to the best of your abilities. And I will say this, the transfer portal does make these games good because there's so many talented high-end teams. Now the early games are terrible because the good players that are on those teams and they make an impact in the tournament, well, they're gone within a year every single time. You're not having a guy that's going to stay with their team like a John Morant at Murray State or Wally Zerbiak at Miami of Ohio, or Damian Lillard at Weaver Stadium. And the list goes on and on and on of players. Stephen Curry at Davidson. Stephen Curry, after that freshman year or sophomore year, he would have transferred. He would have been at Duke. He would have finished his career at Duke. He would have not stayed at Davidson. Mark my words on that one. Or North Carolina. Probably, or maybe North Carolina because of his dad. But so, yeah, I think under these circumstances, it's fun to watch. It's competitive. But foundationally, it's not right, in my personal opinion. But obviously, yeah, Michigan had the better bought and paid for team. And I thought despite the fact that Denver didn't play very well, Sala Ball played okay, but, Terrace Reed, I really like this Braylon Mullins kid. He's actually really athletic for being 6'6", 195 pounds and white, but he shoots really well. I think he's got a chance to be a pretty good player if he puts on 10, 15 pounds on his frame. But, I mean, Hurley just does really well with whatever he's got, and I firmly believe he's certainly the best coach in college basketball. I put him above Pitino at this point, honestly, as far as just like dominance. Will he be able to take 3 teams to a national or 2 teams to a national title? Probably not. But I've been really impressed with Hurley as well. So yeah, it was a tough game. It was a tough game to watch physically, but I do like watching defense. And again, it's just the fact that you have 5 transfers on one team and a team drops $10 million, and the other team only drops 4 and they lose. That's not college basketball to me. That's more of like an NBA or even a Major League Baseball thing at this point.
I happen to agree with you with like the Lillard and Curry things. They would have left for sure. But let me
100%.
Let me ask you this because St. Mary's is a mid-major. They lost their coach. They're losing all their good players. It's going to take them a while, I think, to be relevant again. But let's say me, Rick Tittle, I'm a billionaire. I care about now. I give $10 million to the top 5 guys in March Madness. Well, next year, we're an Elite 8 team at least. And so what about salary caps? What about, because it's just such a wild west right now.
Yeah, I think that has to happen too. I think there should be salary caps. Maybe you can only spend $6 million a year. That's your budget. $6 million if you're D1. And if you're in a conference, right? And if in your conference, if you guys win, then you can spend another $500,000 or $1 million. So you can incentivize the conference that wins. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can so you can do things, but something has to be done. There can't be like a situation where the coach spends the coach at the biggest school spends the most money, gets a player, and is able to mix and match those players to create to do it. Every single coach should be able to, which is to use your talent to the best of its abilities and and spread it out. Just use your resources the best that you can. Like that's the expectation that every coach should do. So, like Fred Hoiberg, couple of transfers, rink mess transfer, but his son Sam, Frager, that freshman. I mean, Boone School was also a transfer. But I mean, like a coach like that, they spent some money, but they probably spent $1 million, $1.5 million. It wasn't $10 million, it wasn't $8 million. And even in the case of the guy from Drake, Ben McCollum, right? Bennett Sturts, basically that entire team transfers over to Iowa, and they get that Alvaro Figueres kid from Robert Morris. But 8 players followed Ben McCollum. Like, that's okay with me. I have no problem with that. That's been happening for a long time. But a situation like that, that's more in line with what people perceive college basketball to be. But college basketball is not. It is the team that has the most money, buys the players, and then the coach gets all the credit. I think that needs to be changed, and I think there's a lot of ways we can change it, and I hope it happens, Rick.
All right. We have a minute, then, just for that type of thing. But do you get into and prognosticate the Masters at all?
No. I think Xander Schauffele is going to win something at some point in his career. I think that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Or has he done? Has he done it? Has he won anything yet?
I'm not anything. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. I like watching Cameron play because he hits at 450 yards. Zach Johnson's, and I pay attention to him every now and then. Obviously, Rory, because he's dominant. Bryson's interesting. But I don't know who's coming up or anything like that. I might do some research on it. But at this point, to answer your question, I do not.
I got a little hint that Cameron Young could be the guy. Dominic says...
Cameron Young?
Yeah. He's 28 years old.
Okay. At 28 years old.
Xander Schauffele's won 2 majors. Okay.
Okay. Has he won the Masters? Which ones has he won?
Dom, you want to do
PGA Championship and the U.S. Open?
Oh, PGA and U.S.
Okay. I think he's going to win a Masters at some point. I think he's going to. I mean, I don't be super excited to bet money on it. I think that would throw money on.
JD Sharp from Wagering. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on on Sports Bar.
Get it out of your mind and make it a real book. With a free guide to book publishing. Publish a book yourself can be complicated. It takes a lot of work, or even more. Do you do best? We can do. Thousands across the nation have trusted our book publishing service. We have the connections to help you get your book printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores nationwide. We can do it faster than you can on your own. Get your free guide to publishing.